Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So good to be with you today. Thanks for jumping on and joining me. I'm Laurie Bates and I'm with Create Better Health Snap Ed program. I am so excited to be affiliated with USU Extension, and our lessons are done on the USDA recommendations. So let's get started, shall we? All right, I thought we would do a basic vegetable sauce today that can go on multiple dishes, and it makes your life a lot easier because it can be frozen, it can be put in the fridge for 3 days and used at a later time, and it can be frozen for the 2-month period. Just make sure that you mark it so you know approximately how long it's been in your freezer. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put 2 tablespoons of oil in. I'm using an electric skillet, but you can use a saucepan or a Sauté pan or whatever you have handy. No need to go and get anything special. Everything works out really well this way. And I'm just going to heat that up. So we'll turn it on. If you're using an electric skillet, I will do about 325. And get that oil starting to sizzle. And then in the recipe we've got 2 carrots. It says to peel them, but I really like the peeling, so I'm going to leave it on. Cut the top and bottom off and rinse them. And then we're going to cut them into segments of how big I want my sticks to be. Now if you want to just dice them up or do the rounds, that's fine too. So however you would like to get that to work for you is great. So I'm saying about a 2-inch, just enough so that we don't choke on them. Okay. And then when we've got them in that segment looking like this, we're going to cut that in half to look like this, so that it's nice and solid on our cutting board and not moving around, okay? All right, so then we're going to take, at an angle, we're going to take this carrot and start slicing it. Watch your fingers. And I am saying that for me just as well as you. I always seem to forget to keep my fingers out of the way. All right, so then at that point, it looks like a matchstick, and you can make those as small or as big as you would like. Now, if you want them to be more of a diced, you would take this matchstick julienne and go ahead and cut that the other way, and then you will you'll see the dice, okay? And that looks like that. All right, so however you would like to do it will be great. It will work, and you'll have these wonderful, lovely carrots in your vegetable sauce. Okay, and this vegetable sauce can make spaghetti, it can make lasagna, it can make a linguine, a red sauce linguine. You can blend it up and make a sauce for pizza. So you can see how versatile it is. You could even put some milk with it and make a soup and add a little basil to that. So anything, a goulash, it could make a really good goulash if you like goulash. And so I've already named, 7 dishes? So let your imagination go and see what you come up with. And if you come up with something different, let me know. Oh, you could do stuffed shells. That would work out really good too. All right, so once you get that chopped, you want to go ahead and chop your celery. And we need 2 sticks of celery. And what I've done is I've just cut, you'll see that they're little strips, and I've just cut up with the scissors. And then I'm just gonna put some little squares, get that cut. And this is really easy, fun way to get your celery going. This is what was at one time, and in some places still, known as the trilogy. And it's the basis, the carrots, the onions, and the celery is the base of a lot of dishes. Listen, and I've got some garlic minced stuff right here. And I didn't have onion, so I'm just going to use some onion salt. And it said a medium onion, so I'm going to do 2 teaspoons. And then I'll try it and see how I like it from there. If your family really doesn't like onions, this would be a good way to get that in there without them having to worry about having an onion. We're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and that's optional. I'm just going to get this, getting it tender and sauteed. And let me show you how that looks. Isn't that pretty? Pretty, pretty, pretty. I love those colors together. Really nice. What you need, a can of crushed tomatoes, and that could be any brand that you like. The higher name brands seem to be a sweeter tomato to me. I don't know what you think, but it's a necessity. So try and, it's 28 ounce can, and we'll get ready here in a second and pour that in. And then we have our clove in, and then salt and pepper. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of that. Just a little bit of a sprinkle. I'm just going to put it in the spoon, and not much, just enough. Just to get these vegetables a little bit of seasoning on them. And then pepper. And if you want to do fresh ground pepper, that would be even better. But not necessary. This is very humble sauce and very easy to make. So don't feel like you can't just use whatever you have on hand, because that's exactly how this is made, is with things that you have already on hand. I'm going to put a few more of these in. Don't know if I have enough, because I will be freezing this one today so that we can have it for a later time. And you can also, speaking of vegetables, when you're planting your gardens, plant some of those Roma tomatoes and get those going for your sauces. And then get them in the blender and away it will go. All right. Oh, also don't forget to put your foil around your celery to keep it a longer time and keep it fresher for up to a week, maybe even a week and a half. So don't. This is going to be in the pan for about 8 minutes, and just keep moving it around and keeping it from burning is really good. And then we'll add our crushed tomatoes, and then we'll boil that for about 2 minutes, and then we'll put it on low, and we'll keep it for 40 minutes, which we're not going to do on camera, but I already have some already done up for you. Then we'll try it and season it with salt and pepper again. And you can add ground meat to this of any kind. The chicken, the turkey, and the ground beef or veal, or even sausage would be really, really good with this. And you can use any variety of pasta that you would like. You can even make your own, even better, if you've got the time. I wanted to talk to you about the 4 food safety principles that can also help you to the control of bacteria in your kitchen. These are called the fight back principles, and they are clean, separate, cook, and chill. You should clean your hands, of course, and multiple times. And countertops, your cutting boards, your dishes, and any other surfaces that are in contact with foods, okay? Separate ready to eat and raw foods to prevent cross-contamination. And some ways to do this are to place raw meat at the bottom of your refrigerator, and don't put it at the top because the juices will start to leak down, and always put it on a plate if you can, so that those juices go on the plate and not all over your refrigerator, and that will save you some work. Do not use marinade as a topping unless it has been boiled first, and use separate cutting boards for fresh produce and raw meat. So you'll use one for raw meat and one for fresh vegetables, okay? And if we need to put a little more oil in there, feel free to do that. It's not going to hurt it at all, okay? All right, and then foods need to be cooked to a proper temperature, over 140 degrees at least. A lot of meats need to be in 165. So get a chart to help you remember what those are. And what happens is that temperature kills the bacteria, which is what we want. And then making sure that you chill your food to a certain temperature as well. And making sure that it's promptly cooled and put into the fridge and not on the counter. I know we were brought up with our moms doing that, but over time we have learned that that's not a good idea. So don't leave your things past that 1.5 to 2 hours out, because we don't want to get sick. Okay. Packages and stored leftovers when the meal is over. I know it's so easy to sit around the table, especially around Thanksgiving, and piece on things, but if you have to, set a timer and quickly get that food into the refrigerator. A thermometer to make sure. If you don't have one, invest in one. It's a really important kitchen device that you need. And making sure that your cold is below that 40, and then your food is cooked above the 140. When thawing food, do not thaw, we talked about that. Instead, thaw it in the fridge and under cold water in the sink. Changing your water every half hour if you're going to put it into water. Or to defrost it in the microwave just before you use it. That'd be great. All of these concepts and food safety practices may seem a little daunting at first and a lot of work, but you know what, with a little bit of practice and doing it over and over, the task will become second nature to you as you practice. The tomato crushed. And when you do your Parmesan, if you can, and you can get it in that little triangle wedge, that would be a really good idea. It's better when you can grate it, but if you can't and you want to buy it already done, that works okay too. Okay, so I'm going to turn my heat down to about 200 and just get this to where, actually let's just do below 200 and get it to boiling, and then we'll be done. All right. So it looks like this, nice and red and beautiful. And you would cook your meat ahead of time in your skillet and get that all browned up, and then go ahead and put it in your sauce when it is ready, if you want to add meat. You don't have to. This has so many beautiful vegetables, you really don't need the meat unless you want it. It does add a little bit more flavor, which is nice. Okay, I wanted to also remind you about, it's good to add physical activity to your day, every day, 5 days a week, and change them up. Make sure you're doing your flexibility and your balance, your resistant, and an aerobic. Those are all really important. Most of all, that you're having fun doing it. Do some dancing, go for a walk after dinner, All those things count. Any movement is what you want. So move, move, move. This is our lovely dish that I made up with linguine noodles and a little bit of bread, and it's just beautiful. And then we've got some Parmesan cheese on top, right? You could do a little salad off to the side, a glass of milk, and then you've got the my plate going here, right? Enjoy this sauce, and that it will become a family favorite. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Laurie Bates from Joab County. Bye.